Welcome to the Nurturers Pod. We got a special guest with us this week. We
Let's
got Jake.
go.
Yes, sir. From fulfill.com, VP of sales. Digging the vibes and everything with the how you got going on today, man. How's your Friday treating you?
What's up, Zach? It's going good, man. I had like 5 sales calls this afternoon, which was way too many on a Friday. So pumped for the
Absolutely.
weekend. About to play some pickleball with my girlfriend in a little bit. Maybe some basketball, quick workout. Um, but yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a good week, and pumped to chat with you. We've been going back on Twitter for a little bit, so yeah,
I know.
appreciate you hitting me up and getting me on the pod.
Of course, man. No, I saw you were playing ball the other day with Danny from One Text, is that right? And a bunch of other dudes.
Yeah,
He
yeah. Well, I
he
think we're getting
tweeted
like a
that
little
out.
Twitter, getting a little Twitter b-ball going. It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bro, I might have to fly out there one weekend or something. We'll see. We'll see.
B-ball.
Um, a little bit. Try
Well,
to. I
yeah,
gotta. I don't live too far from like my hometown where I grew up, and so I have a bunch of buddies from high school they'll get together and play every once in a while. So that's about it. It's been a minute though since I last played, but pickleball on the other hand, me and the wife we'll go play every once in a while.
yeah,
It's a good time for sure.
yeah. Pickleball. If you're ever in
Pickleball.
Austin,
I don't know.
we'll pickleball and basketball back to back then.
Boom, there we go. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how pickleball is picked up, dude. Like, literally, I feel like everyone plays nowadays. It's insane. I don't
Yeah,
know how it
used to
got
be
so
like the
much
grand.
traction, but
Yeah, used to be like your grandparents' fun thing to do, and now all the kids are and all the young adults are doing it. It's the fun.
I
I don't
know
know. It's good. It's fun. It's a great sport. Easy on the knees
it
too.
is.
Nice. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get hurt too
No,
bad
it's
out there.
nice. Exactly. No, it's just good. It's a good time. It's not too like demanding physically. You're not gonna go out there and wreck yourself, but no, it's definitely a good time for sure. Um, Well, cool, man. No, super excited to have you on the pod. Like you said, yeah, been going back and forth on Twitter for quite some time now, so glad we could finally make this happen. But yeah, tell me a little bit more about fulfill.com. You've been there for like a year and a half now, is that right?
Yeah, about a year and a half. Been working with
Okay.
at fulfill.com, but my time with fulfill.com, the CEO actually, I've been buddies with him for about 5 years. I think I tell this story
Nice.
on almost every sales call, so it's pretty dialed down by now because it's a
I
good
love it.
story and kind of the story, the reason how I got with the company, it kind of aligns with what we offer and how we help brands. But basically, fulfill.com is a marketplace for fulfillment centers, 3PLs. So if you're shipping anything online, these hats, for example, and you got to the point where you don't want to be shipping them out of your bedroom. Like I got a whole box of them. So once I'm selling enough of these hats, which is this little side business I got, and I got your hat.
Yeah.
This is Zach's hat that I'm gonna be shipping out after the
Let's
call.
go.
But once you got to the point where you don't want it to be shipping it out yourself and you want to find a fulfillment center to outsource that to, that's where you hit up fulfill.com. And we're basically like a matchmaker, almost like, Tinder Hinge, but we'll find you the right fulfillment center because finding a warehouse, it shouldn't be, it's like a marriage. You want to date around and find someone that you're really going to be with for a long time because the churn rate for fulfillment centers is crazy, about 66%. Yeah, I might be botching the stat, but I don't want to botch the stat on the podcast. But basically, people churn fulfillment centers all the time for various reasons. So what we really help brands do is find them a fulfillment center that is going to match what they're looking for if they're in a specific niche vertical. So we're talking to different brands all the time. Just got off a call with a apparel brand overseas that's looking to come to the United States. So we match them up with an apparel brand, apparel fulfillment center specifically that will ship clothing. So we're really
Nice.
matchmaking in whatever e-commerce brand is out there. We're helping them find the right fulfillment center. And the reason how I got involved with fulfill.com was I was working, my cousin-in-law created an e-commerce product. So in college, I was one of their brand ambassadors. It was a
No way.
golf driver, but it was a golf driver. It was a beer bong shaped as a golf driver. So
No.
you poured a beer into this golf driver and then you took
Okay.
a chug out of it. And then this is what I was like walking around in college promoting. And then we got on a pitch competition. Barstool Sports was doing a pitch competition. So we ended up linking up with a bunch of other cool like drinking games and other fun products on this Barstool like pitch competition. Got the pitch to El Prez. Dave Portnoy and some other cool people on that panel. And out of that, we were able to network with some other really cool e-commerce brands, which one of them was the CEO of Fulfill.com. At the time, he just had a drinking game, and then he
Oh my.
he had a drinking game. He had started another board game, and then he was like shipping them out of his house. And he's like, I want to start doing this for other companies and start his own fulfillment center. And our beer bong was one of the first customers to work with Joe and his fulfillment center. Saw him. This is we moved when I was maybe in college or just got out of college to his fulfillment center, and then saw Joe just he's kind of like an inspiration for me, where he was working with he was hiring all his buddies from growing up to work with him, and he was just building this really cool culture. Like, I look on LinkedIn and he's playing basketball with all his buddies, at lunch during work. So it was just a cool culture that he created. And I always knew I wanted to work with Joe. So when Joe ended up selling his warehouse back to his hometown buddies, he had this idea for Fulfill.com to help other brands find right fulfillment centers. And
Hmm.
it's such a value add, because we moved from a fulfillment center to Joe's fulfillment center. Just had a great experience working with a boutique level fulfillment center. They messed up occasionally, but they did like music videos for like with our product and stuff, like these really cool things that
No
got to
way.
like,
That's
I don't
cool.
know, like it was just cool to be in a warehouse that really cared about you and wanted
Yeah.
other brands to kind of experience that. So when Joe started Fulfill.com, I was in California at the time, moved to Austin. Joe was in Austin. He moved to Pennsylvania to do this warehouse thing. Then he was moving back to Austin. And that's when we linked up and we're like, hey man, we've been wanting to work together for 4 years, been talking about, e-commerce. I was one of your customers at warehouse. Like, let's make this thing happen. And then I quit my tech sales job to join the startup that is Fulfill.com, that was about a year and a half ago.
Dude, that is crazy. That's so cool though. I think that really goes to show like how important networking can be. You can label it, call it whatever you want, but just like going out, getting out of your comfort zone and meeting new people, like you never know where that'll lead you in the future. Specifically for you, it led you to this opportunity, which I think is so dope. So no, I think that's great. And then also I was gonna ask you about eventshark.io.
The hats
Your
we're talking about,
yes, the
yeah.
hats. Yes. Tell me a little bit more about that, like what your guys' game plan, what you guys do. Just give me the full rundown.
Yeah, and it one thought with before we switch over to Event Shark, because
You're good, you're good.
I'm a big entrepreneur, and so I'm always have my hands in a lot of different pots, and it's fun kind of creating businesses and seeing if something can stick. And I've had a lot of different businesses that haven't worked and some things that have worked, and it's fun to kind of experiment and do all these
For
different
sure.
ventures. And back to the networking thing, that's what I was going to say is the best
Mm,
jobs aren't on a job board. A lot of the times they're going to come from networking, and just through word of mouth before they go posted online. So just a little something, never hurts to get out there, and someone you look up to, kind of reach out to them and just follow along. And actually, Joe, funny enough, we were interviewing Joe on one of my buddy runs a podcast too, and we were
mhm.
interviewing Joe, and that's when we kind of re-engaged the conversation that he was moving to Austin. So because we interviewed him on a podcast, it actually opened the door for me to eventually work with him. So it was funny. Like, I don't know, it just always, if you start someone cool you look up to, just reach out to them and see if you can get a conversation rolling, and you can provide value as well. But
100%. I guess real quick to kind of just back on that.
yeah,
The only reason I'm at Stay, they never posted like any jobs or anything, but I had cold emailed just like the general Stay account. Just told them, hey, love what you guys are doing. Specifically, I'd seen a bunch of Genus content on Twitter. Um, and then yeah, timing ended up working out, and kind of like that's how I got this opportunity. But yeah, same thing. Like you just never know what a any conversation can hold for you in the future. So it's always worth shooting your shot and yeah, seeing what happens for sure.
well, and this opportunity with Joe, like I manifested this for 4 years. Like it was,
Yeah,
there's never, you never know when that right time is going to come up, where that right opportunity comes around. So if you just have a lot of different, feelers out there for things that, look at people that you want to get up, because look for people that you want to be like, and then kind of position yourself around those kind of people. So
yeah,
you can eventually hopefully work with them, because people hire their friends a lot more times than you think, because they want to, they're looking for people to work with that they want to mentor, as well as they want to be, it's fun to go to work and you're working with your buddies at the same
Oh,
time.
100%. Yeah. No, for sure.
But that,
Event Shark.
yeah, Event Shark, which
Let's hear
is
it.
working with one of my close buddies. We actually, one of my buddies, Ding, the sales rapper. I don't know if you guys know who Ding the sales rapper is, but he's really cool entrepreneur. Basically quit his sales job, or I guess he really got laid off, and that's what opened up the opportunity for him to become a sales rapper and does jingles for other companies. So when I was at my tech company, we got Ding, the sales rapper, to feature on a rap because I like rapping too. So me and him did a little rap for our company, and that's where me and Ding's like friendship started. And then we've always just had a great energy working together. So when I lived in LA with Ding, we like met up a couple times. We like did a little silly song together, which no one can hopefully finds that. But
I'm digging after this.
we did,
I'm gonna
no,
find it.
we've done some fun songs together, and then we actually just dropped it. Like I just like to rap, and like he's a fun guy to like do raps with, but also
Yeah.
like content. Like we just have a love for content and video content, and like um, that's what Event Shark is really something that's just a passion project where we can help other brands do video and elevate their video. So Event Shark is the name is a little deceiving where it's like we don't really because if you guys look this is supposed to say event and it's shaped as a shark, so that's where the Event Shark comes in. But the idea is like a lot of events are being thrown in Austin, so what we can kind of do is show up to the event, whether it's a happy hour, a corporate, networking event. It's a great opportunity for content, and you're already spending a lot of money on these events. So we can come to your event. We got our nice cameras, do some cool interviews, chop that all up. So now you hosted an event, but now you can also get 30 pieces of short form content, which, as we know, is great in the TikTok Reels era. So it's really about helping brands elevate their events by adding like a content distribution play to it. So that's what Event Shark is, and then it's kind of pivoted to helping other brands. We went to some warehouses, shot some really cool videos for them. So it's like, hey,
Nice.
give us an afternoon and we'll give you 25 videos that you guys can post for the next quarter or 2 quarters. So that's kind of what Event Shark is. Kind of a passion project, but I think eventually something that I'd like to do full time, but not in the meantime, because fulfill.com, we got a really good thing going with our team and our company, and helping a lot of cool people with that right now. So that's kind of what.
No, that's dope. I think especially being in Austin specifically, dude, like there's always so many events. I'm always seeing stuff going on. So yeah, just really being able to capitalize that. And I think that the short form content, especially the era that we're living in, like that just makes so much sense. So no, really love the idea. I think that's dope. I'd looked at you guys' like page. I saw the hats and everything else. But I didn't realize that you guys had that offer as well, where you're going and shooting clips and doing different things. So no,
Yeah,
I really like it. That's cool.
yeah. Like we're doing. We just got knock on wood, but we're going to be helping out like with the marketing conference in
Nice.
October, and going to be showing up and doing like some behind the scenes like interviews, like there's going to be a bunch of panels, but like we're going to be coming in and talking to the speakers, pre post speaker event, and then kind of chatting with them, and then also getting a bunch of cool clips from the event. So we're almost like
Nice.
the secondary camera that gets like those cool gritty shots that are at the events that you don't always see, that are going to be like on the floor. What are people really experiencing? And that's kind of what it is. And as you mentioned, yeah, there's so much stuff going on in Austin. It's just a good opportunity. And one of the reasons I moved to Austin is a lot of opportunity with where I'm trying to be in a lot of tech, e-commerce
Oh yeah.
people and
No,
startups right now.
100%.
So yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
spot.
Good stuff, man. Well, super
Yeah,
sweet.
appreciate
I
it.
love I love that you like, yeah, you just kind of got your hands in a lot of different things. Just like I love the entrepreneurial spirit about you, just like going and testing things out and seeing if it works. So yeah, no, that's sweet, man. But diving into the podcast today, I
Yeah,
want to go over kind of just like your path, how you ended up where you are. Obviously, we dove into that already, but more just from high school, that whole experience and getting into your career. So yeah, I guess I know I had you answer a couple questions before we hopped on here. But the most important thing for you in high school was sports and grades. And then girls and friends, of course. But yeah, tell me a little bit more about your high school experience. It looks like you played football. But how was that for you?
Yeah, high school, going back in time.
Yes, sir.
It's an interesting spot. It really is. There's so many. I wish I would have been. I think I put this in the form. I wish I was like myself earlier in high school, and then I really kind of burst out of my bubble when I got a little bit older and actually kind of. I've always experimented with being like an entrepreneur. This is like before entrepreneuring became like super mainstream. I feel like
Yeah.
my first. This is kind of what my I did football. That was really fun. It was a great experience, kind of build character and make friends through football. Did high school leadership as well, so I was pretty involved with like school spirit and
What
things like
position
that.
you play? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, played middle linebacker and a little bit
Oh,
outside
nice.
linebacker. Just depends on the year. Years were different, and then played actually a little offensive line too.
Oh,
So
no way.
yeah, a little
Nice,
bit
man.
bigger. You play football, or what did you play?
I did. I actually played linebacker as well.
Nice.
Middle and outside, yeah. That's
I
cool.
like
That's cool.
at least once a week I have a dream about high school football, so it still
Do
doesn't go
you?
away. I don't know.
Yeah. Just reliving the glory days.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even. It's not even me trying to relive it. It's just like I don't. It's pretty funny.
Just happens. Just happens.
But it like it wasn't. It was something that I was really invested in. Was like high school, like uh, football was like super important to me, and made me like really appreciate working out and fitness too, which I've really my knees. I had an injury to my knee, and I started playing basketball and stuff, and getting a lot like healed it up, and now I'm like so stoked I can like be moving around and doing fun stuff like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, football was cool. Leadership. I was always like a person that tried to make the most of every position or situation I was in. So like
Hmm.
leadership, I think that really put me out of my comfort zone and really got me involved in other things in the school and met a lot of cool people through leadership. And I would say like yeah, grades were important too. My mom, my dad always made sure I was like getting good grades, and that was always something that going to college was definitely always the thing that was important for me. I went to the University of Oregon, but I really like there's this funny story that I did in high school which opened up opportunity. It actually is funny because what I did in high school is I've always experimented with random businesses, but I started a watch company in high school,
Okay.
and so I had a bunch of watches, and then I had like literally a briefcase, and I'd go around school. I'd carry a briefcase, and I was selling watches to people in freaking high school, and people
No way.
literally was known as like the watch guy, and people were buying Clare watches, but they were like old janky ones. I ended up buying some from China and selling those too. But I was
Nice.
literally just sharing with our team the other day, like some funny pictures of me with these briefcases. I'll send you after
Dude,
the
I gotta see
in Twitter.
this.
I'll send you some of these pictures, but. I was
Dope.
just like loved and I was like making more money, just in class than I would be making from like a minimum wage perspective working like a regular job. I'm like, this is way better. I work my own hours, I can do my own thing, and I can sell
Yeah.
watches. Like that's where I was like the official first initial idea of like, this is more fun too. Maybe I was putting a little bit more work in, but like I was doing my own thing and having fun doing it. And
Hmm.
that was kind of like a funny thing that I did. I started this watch business, and then we end up selling DVDs, sunglasses, wallets, and I ended up getting busted for selling DVDs. They thought I was pirating them, but I wasn't pirating them. So like I called into the office one time, and the police officer like had to tell me not to sell on campus anymore. And he's like, "Wait, you're the guy with the watches?" I'm like, "I've been looking for
No
you.
way.
I have carry a briefcase around. Like you, it's not that hard to find me."
Yeah, yeah. Dude, that is hilarious.
And
Where did you go to school at? Sorry, I didn't even ask.
yeah, in California, East Bay area.
You're in California. Okay, cool, cool. No, you were the okay, so you were the briefcase kid selling watches, you're selling DVDs. Dude, that's insane. And it was actually like you were doing well with it. I feel like a lot of times, like, yeah, kids will I remember kids used to like sell like candy bars or drinks or whatever in high
Yeah, yeah.
school. But I feel like, yeah, they always like got caught after a couple days and that was that. So how long did this go on?
This went on for months. It went on for months. So
No
like
way.
probably a good amount. The DVDs got me booked because I didn't want to bring a bunch of DVDs to school. So I print up a
Hmm.
list of like the 250 DVDs I had and then hand them
Okay.
out. And then that was the paper trail that the cops found me.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. That makes sense.
But it
Dude,
was
that
going on. It
is
went on for a
crazy.
while. It went on for a while. It was pretty hilarious. It was, and that's where going back to the in college, and then I was always known as like people just that stood out to people. So that opened up
Yeah.
opportunities. Like my cousin-in-law and his buddy started the beer bong golf driver, They're like, we got to get
Yes. Yep.
Jake to help us out because this guy's a hustler. Like he'll do some stuff for us. So that's how that opportunity opened up.
Okay.
Beer
Okay.
bong.
That's
Then the beer bong led to fulfill.com. So it all starts, you know, it starts, I don't know. It started in high school, I guess, or before then, whatever.
That's crazy. I didn't realize how far back that this fulfill.com opportunity, like where it was kind of initially born from.
I
It was
guess it was born
born
from
this,
this.
yeah, it was born from you being the watch guy in high school. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Um,
I had some good, like I would bought the watch from China, but then also people like had old watches they were trying to get rid of.
mm,
I would just like either give them a commission if I sold it, so like I have no overhead, and then I like have I had an whole IG page, so I was doing social media marketing even before. Like I
oh,
had
no
this
way.
sexy IG page with all these like funny watches. I did giveaways, and it was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
comedy. So it was called the Coat. I had like like an alter ego where I had a coat, like a trench coat and like the mustache
hmm
and the glasses. And I had the briefcase. It was a whole thing. So
Dude, that's crazy. That's cool though. No, I think that's super unique. I haven't heard a story like that of a kid in high school, so I think that's super cool. And I know that you mentioned that like you wish you would have leaned in a little bit more into like yourself or like just like your personality, but I guess like um do you mean specifically with this whole venture, or just like throughout high school in general? Like what do you feel like you could have leaned in on more?
well, I think like me carrying a briefcase around with watches like isn't necessarily cool. I made it kind of
Mm,
cool. Probably people think it was weird, but like for sure, you know what I mean.
yeah.
But like that was me. Like I was a quirky guy, like funny, try to be funny,
hmm
but also like serious too. Not really. Like I was just kind of goofy, being myself, and I wish I was like a little bit goofier.
Mm.
Earlier and not caring what people think so much, but it's like high school. Everyone's kind of like there's the bullies and things like that. So
Oh, of course.
you
Yeah,
can't let them get
no.
your head.
Yeah, no, it's super tough. And I think that's like when having these conversations with like previous guests on the podcast, I think one of the most prevalent things is the fact that like in high school, you just like you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, who you want to be, what you want to like become in the future. And you just get so caught up in like the social aspect of it all. Where yeah, it's really hard to like break out and like really do what you love with especially without getting judgment from your friends. I think it's like in hindsight, obviously looking back, like I maybe have like 4 or 5 dudes from high school that I keep in touch with. That are like my buddies, but everyone else, all the other dudes who used to walk the halls and stuff with, like I don't remember the last time I talked to him or even saw him. So it's like all those things that happen in high school, I feel like in the moment are such a big deal. But yeah, in hindsight, it really shouldn't be. And we make it out to be a lot bigger deal than it really is.
Yeah, it's crazy that in the moment it's tough, right? If you're getting,
hmm
but yeah, in literally a year, once you go off to college or everyone's graduated, it doesn't really matter. And that's why I like
Doesn't.
college too. It gives you a fresh reset, especially if
Yeah.
you're able to get out of your hometown. And I always, if you can get out, do college, get out. If it's an option for you, I think that's a really good option. Especially if like you didn't have the best high school situation, you can really start fresh and go somewhere new that you can kind of be yourself. Which in high school, it's tough because you have your friend groups and that you can't really switch friend groups in high school. It's like really tough and really awkward. You know
It
what I mean? But in
is.
college, you can
Yeah.
start fresh, which is really cool. So I definitely took advantage of that as well.
Okay, cool. And that's what my next question was going to be. So you said like obviously the logical move coming out of high school was going to college. Was it ever a thought that you weren't going to go to college, or was that kind of like not only I guess the expectation, but it's like what you wanted to do as well?
Yeah, it was no doubt. That's the kind of what my parents, said that would be good, and I agreed. It's a good
Yeah.
situation. It's a good spot. Like, I mean, for me, like I was like blessed, and my parents could pay for my college, so that's definitely
hmm
a bonus for that. But yeah, it was always a plan to go to college, and heard really good things from family that went there and cousins, older cousins, and I think there's a lot of benefits of going to college.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think no, college specifically, it's a great opportunity to learn, to network. I think is super huge as well. Which I ended up dropping out of college. I was
Oh,
like
really? I didn't know that.
two, yeah, I was like three. I tried out three different colleges, didn't work out at any of them. Ended up getting into sales, and the rest is history.
Oh, good for
Um,
you.
but yeah,
Good for
so
you. Good for
it
you not having to freaking do the college thing. If it wasn't, because it's not the right fit for everyone. I maybe on another time. I'm sure you've talked about this on your podcast, but why you kind of dropped out. But yeah,
I yeah, no, I think obviously everyone has their own path. College, I think as you're trying to figure out what you want to do, where you want to go with your life, like, dude, there is not a better place to be because you're with a ton of other dudes who are in the exact same spot. Like, everyone's trying to figure it out. Everyone's trying to kind of see what they're good at, what they're not. And I think college is a super unique time to kind of try and figure that time out while you're also kind of able to I guess leverage that where it's like the expectation is college, not that you're supposed to be going out there and making money. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Where it's like, hey, yeah, if you're talking to friends or family and they're like, hey, what are you up to? Oh, yeah, I'm going to college. Okay, cool. You're never going to be looked down on. Never, no one's ever going to be like, oh, you shouldn't be going to college, whatever. Like, they're like, oh, cool, yeah. Kind of like you mentioned, it's kind of just like the logical next step. It's what a lot of people end up doing. And so, I guess just the question that I have from that, how do you feel like um, during those college years, like just looking back from that transition from high school to college, was there any time or anything that you feel like you could have done differently, whether it was within business or just like other opportunities that you think could have came from it? Just like overall your college experience and how like going from high school to college, just kind of like what the I guess the transition was like, but then yeah, other opportunities that maybe you could have capitalized on more.
yeah. I am always in the mindset of you can't go back in time, so why try to change
Yeah,
it? There's always a present, and that's what you can really change and focus. I never really think about like, oh, I wish I could have done this. Like, if I could have went back to restart high school, maybe I'd like want to play basketball and like focus
yeah,
on that more because now I've like realized how much I love playing basketball. So like that would be something. But from like a business perspective, friend perspective, no, not really. I feel like I did it pretty well. I don't know if that's the
yeah.
case for everyone, but for me personally, like, um, but not trying to be cocky or anything. I think, whatever
No,
path,
not at
path,
all.
path you pick is the right path. And it's always about what can you change now versus going back in time and trying to change something that's, irrelevant.
Yeah.
So,
No, 100%. And I love that. I think, yeah, there's obviously nothing we could do to go back and change what we did coming out of high school. And I feel like that's just like such a pivotal time as well. So it's really cool to hear that, yeah, you were able to kind of break out of your, not even like break out of your shell, but just be more yourself when going to college, finding that friend group that was supporting you with what you were doing and everything else, which led you to where you are today, obviously. So I think that's super cool. And like, yeah, I think anyone who is going to college and is kind of looking for that fresh restart, like definitely is a huge opportunity whenever you're moving out of your home city to go and do that.
yeah.
Um,
But you don't even need to go to college. It could be, I moved to Austin, Texas from California, and it gave me a whole fresh start too. So it's whenever
yeah,
there's these new chapters in your life, and it doesn't need to be, could be ending high school and starting college, college to moving to a new city, to start a job. There's all these different opportunities in your life that you can get a fresh reset. And if you weren't completely happy about how one chapter was, there's always these new chapters in life where you can kind of open up a book and start something fresh. And yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
no, absolutely. I agree. So looking back on your college experience a little bit more, it looks like you were an intern for the marketing department at Oregon.
Yeah.
And then you're also able to go and be an independent contractor for the Trailblazers. Tell me a little bit more about how you were able to land those opportunities, what that looked like, and then also, I mean, obviously you had the experience in high school, running the social media page and stuff for your watches. But was that kind of what led you into the interest of being an intern at the college?
Yeah. And especially in college, there's so many people that like we just had some interns that when working with fulfill.com over the summer. There's so many businesses out there that would like some help and then don't put a formal application. And I think that's what like the internship was with the marketing department. It wasn't like official internship that was on some job board. It was a buddy that was connected with one of the marketing teachers, and then he was working, helping him on projects. We were like some research projects for the university. This is going back. Had this marketing internship with the University of Oregon's business department. So
Mm.
I was working with one of the professors, but a buddy of mine was working there, and then he was kind of done with the opportunity because he became a senior. He's like, hey, maybe I should pass this off to someone else, and gave me an opportunity to do. I did it completely for free, and I just kind of hung out with the marketing professor, maybe once or twice a week, and helped him just on various projects. And then also he also asked me like what I was interested in. I was doing some video editing projects for him. Did some other projects around like marketing research and things like that. And it kind of helped me kind of understand what I wanted to do in my life too. So I think with getting opportunities, going back to like the beginning, a lot of these opportunities aren't on job boards, and you can honestly just say, hey, if a company that you like, can I help you do this project and I'll work for free? And then I always like the idea of like, hey, if you have the opportunity to learn, especially in college, and get connected with some cool people and build up your resume. Try and get opportunities for free and work for free if it's a cool brand, and you're going to learn a lot. And then, yeah, I don't know if I summarized that very well, but yeah, I think leaning into like doing stuff for free and then building up that arsenal of what you want to do as well as what you're really good at, and learning about yourself. Because just like in high school, you got to learn about yourself, and then once you're in college, it's really learning about what you want to do in your life, and doing these different internships, kind of trying out as many different jobs as you can and seeing what you like is definitely a good starting point, and something that I kind of did.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. And it looks like that's kind of what led you to the marketing internship at Demand Base. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Had opportunity to be there. I didn't even know what I wanted to do after school. I think that was kind
Hmm.
of a black box. I was doing the beer bong golf driver thing senior year. I'm like, oh, I want to make this of my full time job, but like the money wasn't really there for that to be a good situation. I didn't want to be living with my. I did live with my parents, but I wasn't really sure. Like I wanted to get a good, fresh experience at a real company. So
Hmm.
after college, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I graduated, didn't have a job, didn't really have any plans. And I was just starting
Yeah.
like, all right, time to find out. I was actually applying to jobs in LA. I grew up in the East Bay, and like trying to
Okay.
find like opportunities. And then I had this marketing internship opportunity, which I was overqualified for, but because I had all this, internships in college just for random things I did for free, I was able to get this marketing internship, got paid like just the minimum wage, but it was really for an
Hmm.
opportunity for me to see what I wanted to do in my career and get some real experience in a real company and even see what that looked like. Because what does a real company look like? If you're in
Yeah.
college, you have no idea, you know what I mean? And
No.
I really had
No.
no real experience in a real company, like a tech company, which was demand based at school, which was cool.
Right. No, that's super cool. Um, no, that's crazy because I think, dude, no one knows what they want to do, and I think that the most important thing is like going out there and trying different things. So, like for you, like just landing these different internships and having these different connections with people is what eventually led you to Demand Base, which you were able to get promoted within there. Um,
Yeah.
and
Well,
yeah,
the internship ended, and then
okay,
it was halfway through the internship, and then there's a couple different routes I could have gone. I could have tried to be on the marketing team, but I actually started hanging out with a lot of the sales folks at the internship. And like,
okay,
these guys are kind of cool, like, and girls. It was the co-ed team.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is kind of like the people that I like. I had a good time. Like, they were like similar my age. It was like this seemed
hmm,
like a logical first job out of school was being an SDR. So I did the internship, and then while I was doing the internship, I like applied to be on the SDR team. It was just luckily they were hiring a few people, so there was
oh
headcount
nice,
because I was already internship there. It wasn't a guaranteed job at all though. Like I had to interview
oh that's
for it, and
crazy.
then but it ended up being working out really well because then I found out I think being SDR is a great first job, or even not even a first job. It's a great, uh, you know, SDR for anyone that doesn't know is a sales development rep, and their job is to basically just book meetings for account execs, or basically you're just going out and reaching out to people and trying to book time with anyone. And it's a great skill to have if you're trying to book people to be on your podcast, or trying to book people. to do fulfillment for you, which I even do. I book my own meetings too from the skills I use from an SDR. So I think it's a cool job for anyone that's interested in sales and wants to really get their hands dirty with some outreach, cold
No,
outreach.
absolutely. I feel like it's definitely a good pivot, especially like if you've never had um, any exposure to sales before. Like it's a great way to kind of learn those very basic skills of how to go about that. And I think sales just overall, like if you're gonna start a business, you need to have some kind of sales experience. And so it's yeah, it's super good to get that experience. And I think yeah, being an SDR, like you said, is it's a great pivot. It's a great place to start. It's a great place to get into later on in life, even
Yeah,
just depending on
absolutely.
what you're doing and what you've done. But yeah, so that's crazy. I didn't realize that it was not like just like this thing internally. It was like, okay, cool, gonna be a marketing intern. We have this gig set up for you. But it was like, no, you had to go in, you had to
I
go and
interviewed
interview.
again. Those interviews were tough. Like 4 or 5 interviews to be an SDR. Like it's tough. And I was just lucky. Those are hard. Like getting an SDR job with no experience out of college is tough. And I just happened to be in a situation where I had a foot in the door with the internship
Mhm.
and ended up getting a good situation with the company, growing at the right time, just right time, right place. And
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's cool. So you were there. It looks like you were there for almost like 3 years. Is that right? At Demand Base.
yeah,
And then that's when you kind of made the move to Austin and you got linked up with Joe. You had this driver beer bong thing going.
yeah.
So what did that transition look like from Demand Base moving to Austin? I know you hit on it a little bit already. But what was that pivotal moment for you that you're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna quit this fulfill.com, go all in, and move to Austin.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I actually moved to Austin before officially had the fulfill.com. I didn't have the fulfill.com job. I actually was just, I had 3 years at demand base SDR, got
Hmm.
promoted to a growth account exec, basically an AE account exec on the customer side. So learned some second level sales skills like how to close deals, how to run sales calls and things like that, which is really good experience. Just
Hmm.
running customer calls. Like you're on a call with 30 minutes with a customer, trying to upsell them things. And that's a really good skill set. From an SDR, you're trying to book meetings. You're on the phone with people for like 2 minutes and you're trying to get off. Now you got promoted and now you got to run calls for 30 minutes, which is a lot more time to F up. So you don't want to be,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get, and I messed up a lot and I also learned a lot. And now, yeah, I got that experience. And then I got to the point where I looked at the, it was a great pay. It was a great job, great culture at Demand Base. But I just looked at it from, the next year. Like I feel like the growth that I had, I feel like I wouldn't get as much growth as I got in the previous year. So I wanted to go somewhere where I could grow exponentially more because I feel like my growth was going to be capped at some point at the man base.
Hmm.
So that's where I really thought like I wanted to go somewhere where I could really be autonomous and have a really fluid role where I could do a lot of different things and kind of make a really big impact as well. So that's kind of where I made that move from. I moved to Austin. I still had the demand based job. And then me and Joe
Okay.
were loosely talking, but it was like, hey, man, I'm moving to Austin. And you're moving to Austin. And then, like, a few months after I moved to Austin, we got the deal locked in to work with Joe. So that's kind of where that
Okay.
unfolded.
Gotcha,
But
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, but it was a position where, like, yeah, it was definitely taking a chance. Working on a startup, not as safe as a tech company, making pretty decent money at a tech company account exec role. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, I traded in like the short term cash for long term growth and long term potential. Kind of what I did.
Hmm.
We'll see, we're still finding out if that's going to pay off, but
Right.
I think it will just from the amount of things I've seen kind of growing fulfill.com and being in the inner workings of a company early and seeing us grow and do some really cool things. So it's a lot of great experience and opportunities working with some really cool brands as well on the e-commerce side. And I was working on the e-commerce beer bong as you knew, and it was fun for me to actually get to be in e-commerce full time. And now I'm technically in logistics too, which is kind of fun. Like I never thought I'd be in logistics, and logistics is kind of a boring word. When people say
Yeah,
logistics, they
yeah,
don't think like, oh, that sounds fun. But
right,
I've
right.
been listening to supply chain audiobooks when I go to bed now, so I guess I like it. I
Look at
don't.
you, man. No, that's awesome.
But
Um, no, that's cool. No, I had one more question that I just wanted to kind of hit on. So, like, through all these different experiences, I think I might know the answer. Um, but if you were a kid coming out of high school, like, what would your one piece of advice be? Um, just like trying to figure out what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, what path you want to take.
my one piece of advice, if you're in high school,
Coming out of high school, trying to figure it out.
yeah, find the people that because I think I listened to a couple podcasts with some people that I kind of looked up to. Like I don't know them personally, but like they had a similar story where they like quit their corporate job to like work on a startup and just grind and kind of make that happen, make their own career. And that's like
Hmm.
something that I like. It's not the right path for everyone, but find someone, whatever it's a role model, a mentor, someone that you look up to, someone that runs a cool company that you want to be like. Find a way to do stuff for free for them and learn from them. And that's what I would say. It's like find the people that you want to become and surround yourself and try and get working with them in any way possible and work for free. Like, hey, I'll come to your house, I'll do your dishes and just teach me a little bit about what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I think that
Yeah.
way where I would go, like if I went back in time and come out of college, like, you know, who's the what role would I want to do? I don't know, but find that find that job that you think is really cool and try and do stuff for free for them. So
Yeah. Just
and
finding
don't and
what.
don't, and don't care what people think either.
Yeah,
Don't care
no,
what people think.
100%. 100%, man. No, I love that. I think it's so important. Yeah, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but just like finding something that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, that you can see yourself doing long term, and go try it out. Go try it out. See if you do like it. And if you do, great, sweet, run with it. If you don't, go try the next thing. So yeah, just really emphasizing what you said, just like being able to find someone that you feel like is a cool opportunity, or they're doing something cool already and just trying to follow that path. I think that's
Yeah.
great. Um, well, cool, man. I know we're up on time, but it's been super fun just to get to chat with you, man. It's been great. If people want to follow you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, yeah. Appreciate you having me on, Zach. This was a great time, honestly. Twitter at B2B Jake, B2B Jake. LinkedIn, Jake Clare. IG, Jake Clare 21. What else do I have? YouTube. YouTube. I'm trying to build up the YouTube channel. Jake
Let's
Clare
go.
21 on YouTube as well. So hit me up on Twitter, B2B Jake, YouTube, Jake Clare 21, IG if you want to hit me up a DM, if you have any questions. I always love talking to people that are like trying to figure out their lives and help them out if I can. You know what I mean? So
For sure, man. Cool, cool. I think I just saw that you posted a video today, right? With fulfilling orders and stuff
yeah.
on your
Posted a
YouTube. I'm
video
gonna have to
today
go check it out. Yeah.
yeah, check that out. YouTube. It was a fun one to do. It was yeah, so that
Nice.
was cool. And we're trying to be pumping out more logistics content. No one is really doing cool logistics videos, and
Right.
we're trying to make that be our thing. So I think there's a little area for us to work in.
No, you got it, man. I'm excited to see how it blows up over the course of the next little bit for sure. Just keep doing what you're doing. But no, I appreciate you, man. Have fun pickleball with some basketball,
Let's
and we'll be in
go.
touch.
Peace out, Zach. Later, homie.
See ya.